Hey guys, this is Troy with Cape Conversations. I've got a good one for you today, folks. And everybody, thank you for joining. Like and share these businesses. These are local businesses here in Cape Ann, but today I've got GenaSis from 4GBS Coaching. GenaSis, I'm going to give it to you to make a little intro here and tell people what we're talking about today.
Sure. Thanks so much for having me here, Troy. So today we are going to normalize the conversation about sex and pleasure. So moms, now might be a good time to hit pause and come back to this later, like during your workout.
Definitely come back to this though, because this is an important one, people.
It's really important. Most of us were raised with being told that this was wrong or bad, shameful, and so we don't talk about it. And when we don't talk about it, we feel alone, we feel isolated, and it gets stuck. And ugh.
I agree. We're going to take a step back. Tell us how you got into this.
Sure.
Give us the history. And you're in, just by the way, we were talking before this. We've got a transplant here from Utah, right?
Yes. Yeah.
I'm from Michigan, everybody. So we transplanted here. So it's nice to always meet sort of not necessarily Midwestern or mountaineer, I guess maybe. I don't know.
Yeah. Rockies girl.
But welcome.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I was born and raised in Salt Lake City, Utah, and not of the predominant faith. And you know, as a young child, I was very curious, I was very active, and, you know, as early as junior high, you know, boys in particular would come up to me and say, I don't know you very well, but I feel like I can talk to you, and I really need to talk with someone. And we'd go, you know, sit down, find a place, and they would come out as gay and be terrified that their parents were going to kick them out or kill them or that the football team was going to beat them up. So I've always been really easy to talk to when it comes to taboo topics. That said, I took a nice detour through a corporate career and really came back to this just in the last 5 years.
I like to think that you're a good listener. And you told me that you're just not a judger. And I think that really is important, especially when you're talking about something that people just want to I don't know if it's get off your chest or whatever, but you know, so many people are just talking at people all the time. People aren't even listening. They're just thinking about what they're going to say next. I mean, it really makes a difference just to truthfully listen to people.
Yes.
And not judge them.
Drop in. Be present with them.
Yeah.
See them for who they really are. Hear them. Understand what's important to them. And send them some love. I think that's what most of us really need, is to be seen, heard, loved, and understood.
Yeah. If you're not getting those things, I'll tell you this. If you're listening to this, you deserve those things.
You definitely deserve
Do not
those things.
kid yourself that you don't. Even if you think your mother doesn't think that you do, you do.
Yes.
So
you're absolutely worthy of it.
So you were talking about doing this, like starting this as a youth, but formally.
Formally.
How did you get into sort of the 4GBS coaching business side of it?
Yeah. So, I mean, I was doing my corporate life and really, really good. You know, things were going great in terms of my career. But I wasn't doing very well with relationships. I had walls built around my heart, like full-on concrete bunker, steel walls, castle walls. There was a moat, there were alligators, the drawbridge was up and locked. I was not letting anybody in. Yes, I was dating, yes, I was in relationships, but I was not being open, and I was not being honest, and I was not being authentic because I was afraid. I was afraid to get hurt. I was afraid to get my heart broken. I was afraid to trust. And after a while, after losing some really great relationships that are really great guys, they were really great guys, I dug in and I started doing the work and doing my own personal growth work, really exploring my feminine aspects, for example. I was much more proud of my quote-unquote masculine characteristics and had devalued my feminine ones. So I set out on a journey. And in that journey, I was working with Mama Gina and the School of Womanly Arts. And one of the guest speakers was Jaya. And Jaya is the creator of the Erotic blueprints. And she was explaining about these blueprints. And when she got to what is my blueprint, the shapeshifter, tears were rolling down my face because I was like, oh my gosh, I'm not broken for wanting what I want and liking what I like. And this is so powerful. I want to help other people find out who they really are and learn how to communicate what they want and need so that they can be happy. And like huge, like at that point, it was just like, there's a coaching program, I'm in.
You got some answers. How old do you think you were when you got those answers?
I mean, this was like 5 years ago, so like 40.
So exactly. So like, I mean, there's definitely people out there that have kind of been going through the motions, right? Like just because you're 40 doesn't mean you can't still get answers to life.
Absolutely. It is never too late.
Some people get stuck in that, like they've got kids and whatever, and they make all these excuses. They've got all, and it's like, you're trying to find out the next meaning is.
I mean, I had been dialing myself down, right? I had been stifling what I desired, not asking for it, hiding, right, that I wanted more. And I turned into an unwatered plant. Like I was dry and dehydrated and just lacking life force energy. And so when I found this framework, it just opened everything up for me to really get clear and really ask for what I want and to not be ashamed of it.
So you do a coaching program. Mm-hmm. I'm imagining that can be hard. Like there's probably people that have eyes wide open. They will come to you and they'll just talk to you. Mm-hmm. There's open. They've already decided that they're going to openly talk about things. But I bet some of the people that need the most conversation are the people that are extremely standoffish.
They're extremely afraid to open this, right? It's a bit of a Pandora's box. So they've been stuffing it down, stifling it, pushing it away, pretending that they don't want what they want for so long, right? And however many years that relationship has been going, to then all of a sudden start telling the truth, that is frightening. So that's one of the things that I work on first with couples is learning how to communicate with one another and to lovingly be able to receive the information and then processing any triggers or charge or hurt that may come up. We've been married for 20 years and now I'm finding out you're kinky. Like, why didn't you, you've been lying to me, right? Because in essence, like withholding information is lying.
Yeah.
And that hurts.
Are you typically working with couples? Or are you typically working with a single person? I could imagine that even if you got somebody that was standoffish to come and talk to you, that doesn't necessarily make the partner complicit or want to take part in the conversation either. So you're kind of like double.
Yeah, usually one person is brave, right? Is looking online or, trying to look for a solution. And so often I will meet with one person first and have a conversation, get an understanding of their situation. And even in that first meeting, I'm starting to provide some encouragement around how to bring up this topic with their partner, how to enroll them in the conversation, and to then enroll them into having a conversation, the three of us. Because once I've got both of them, then it's a lot easier. So yes, I can work with just one member of the couple, and it really only does take one to start to initiate change, because the other one will notice that change is taking place. And it's faster if we work with both people.
Yeah, you're getting double buy-in. You don't have to have people that are kind of caught up in their day-to-day trying to recognize change. That might take a little while.
I mean, most couples notice change after the first session. There's a woman
We need more stability to your coaching career. We can't change lives in one session. We need this to be multiple sessions so you can make a living.
Troy, I have to tell you, honestly, this is more about my life purpose, giving back, being a role model, and being an inspiration to others. Like, it's not about making money for me. This is my reason for being on the planet, is to help couples have deeper connection.
Yeah.
So, if one session and that amount of change you get is enough for you, I'm happy for you. And if 3 sessions is better serving you, terrific. And if we want to do a deep dive, intensive weekend and really dial things up and get a big shift, fantastic.
Yeah,
I'm all about doing what's best for the couple.
That is, you're nailing that, because I think what some people may justify in their brains as they listen to this is where does sex and sexuality and even the priority of it in their life, they may even be able to justify it not being the top priority in their life, and therefore it becomes third, right? Oh, I'd love to have a garden, but that's my 4th priority, so my garden doesn't do very well. It's like, okay. I could see how someone could justify that. And I know you're going to tell me yeah, but this might be technically everyone's top priority. Everybody's been there at the end of this experience and been like, that was great. I want more of that, if you've had that.
Yeah, it's for what I find is that when people are putting in a bit of effort when it comes to pleasure, sexuality, their relationship, the ROI is extremely high. Everything else improves. Their work improves. Their parenting improves. Their being a child to aging parent improves. Everything else improves when you're coming from this more resourced sense of well-being. So it doesn't have to be your top priority, but just give it a little love. Put a little effort into it.
Yeah, just like you should, if you want a good garden, you got to put some effort into it.
Yeah. If you want a healthy body, you need to eat nourishing foods. You need to drink your water. You need to get some movement.
Bingo.
This is part of well-being.
It's part of human nature, too. No matter how much people want to, we're just animals at the end of the day, to a little bit. We have, innate desires, needs.
Yes. And it really is, healing on so many levels when you're having this type of lovemaking. When you're having this deeper connected lovemaking, it heals old wounds. It heals your confidence. It heals, shame. So many things become possible when you get to be a more fully expressed version of who you are.
What do you think about this whole online dating culture that we have today? And I'm not an online dater. I've been happily married for 15 years this coming year. So I missed the whole online dating thing, but it creates a weird, because I didn't do it, I don't really understand the culture of it. Mm-hmm. But it feels like it's not helping in this frame.
It's not really helping because it sets up this distracted, keep scrolling, the next best thing, there's plenty of fish in the sea, right? There's kind of, it keeps you in this looking frame. That said, the biggest thing I see as a problem with it is people aren't honest, right? They'll create these profiles to be one size fits everybody, and they're not articulating who they are or what they want. And as a result, then they're going on these dates and they're having just a bad time. Whereas if there is somebody that wants to do an online dating profile, I think there are some apps that are better than others, but more importantly, be authentic. Really be true to who you are.
Otherwise, you're just going to get the untruth in the date that you're going on.
Absolutely. So funny story. my husband was on 30 different dating sites.
30 different ones?
30
or 30
different
dates?
Dating sites.
They have 30?
I didn't even know there were that many. Yes, he was on all of
Wow.
them. Because, of course, everyone's telling him, you've got to put yourself out there. They're not going to just walk into your living room. Well, I just walked into his living room. That's how we met. We met in person, in real life. And it was funny because, within a little bit, we were like looking at these different profiles. And both of us had created these profiles where we were really intimidating. We were really trying to make it so that it was a bit of a gauntlet to get over in order to be willing to have a date with us, because we were really, really picky about what we wanted. So it worked out.
Do you think there's any problem with the many partners scenario of online dating? I don't know. Do you think people desensitize even what they want by just having sex with someone that you're not actually really even connected with, that you lied at how tall you were and now you're dating and now you're connecting at that level and you're just not good. And does it desensitize does it desensitize sex for this new culture or this new person because of it?
There's a lot in there, Troy.
It's probably a lot of bad sex.
There's a lot of bad sex happening. A lot of bad sex, because most of us don't get educated on how to have good sex that's based on pleasure, that's based on mutual satisfaction, that's based on fulfillment, that's based on connection. No, all we're seeing on TV is, first base, second base, third base, done. It's sad. It's tragic, actually. And so, yes, there are a lot of people having bad, quick hookup sex to try to fulfill a need. Well, you know what? If you are hungry and you eat a bag of Cheetos, you're not going to feel very good after. What you're
best
really
analogy
craving
I've ever heard.
Is nutrition. You want nutrition when it comes to sex. You want the protein and the vegetables and the fruits. That's why my brand is the Grand Banquet of Sexuality, right? There are so many ways to make love that are all on the table. All the desires are on the table, and you just need to come taste all that's possible and quit having takeout. Quit eating the, meat stick and Cheetos on the run, and let's have a real delicious, deep, satisfying meal followed by amazing chocolate cake.
Yeah, and that takes a little bit of prep work, a little bit of meal prep, a little thought, a little grocery shopping.
You got to have some buildup in there.
Yeah. If you're going to eat healthy and feel good, you're going to put some work into it.
Absolutely.
And with a little bit of consistency to that, you're going to look good too.
Make it a religious experience.
Yeah.
It's on the calendar for twice a week. Twice a week, dropping in for 5 hours. Now, that's a big investment in time. We don't have little kids, so we don't have to worry about that. But by saying, this is our sacred time, and we're really going to come together, we're going to connect, we're going to talk openly about what's going on, we're going to explore what, desires and passions that we have, and really fully drop in with one another. We set the lighting, we've got candles, we make dinner together, and we've got music that's playing, and we just take our time to explore each other and have fun and play. Because really, at the end of the day, sex is how adults play. And it's supposed to be fun.
Yeah, you'd be saving some divorces.
Big time.
With just even the first part of that, just connecting and talking.
Communication is really a key aspect of the coaching work that I do. I'm really helping couples learn how to be honest with one another, how to identify what their own, feelings and desires are, and then to share those vulnerably, while also helping the other partner learn how to receive that information and, provide the loving support.
So let's talk about, or let's find a way here, you and me right now, to get that person who's listening to this, right? They're listening to this in the car. They're driving to Target. They're doing some errands, whatever it is. They're walking on the treadmill. Make sure when you're done listening to this, you like and subscribe. So we help all these businesses, by the way. But let's work on getting people over the goal line here to actually reaching out to you. What do you say to that person? It's like right there on the fence. Maybe they're like intimidated because they think it's going to take it too far. Maybe they're intimidated because they're like, I'm not the problem. Like, he's the problem. Or I don't have a big problem. I got a little problem.
Yeah.
You know, maybe it's not their number one priority. Maybe it is their third priority.
It's fine.
How do we talk me through, or talk to the people out there listening to this that are those people, you know those people, and give them those points that you would give them to come here and actually pick up the phone and call you or schedule something?
Yeah. So what I say is you don't need to be having a problem. Things can be good. Let's make them great. You know, let's look at new ways to expand and explore to keep it interesting, and we can, you know, move in that direction. If things are already great, high five, and let's make them exceptional. Like, I have found amazing levels of ecstasy possible in this connection, and I can help you do that as well. And yes, if you are having problems, little problems, guess what? You're not alone. That's one of the biggest challenges. Because we're not talking about sex, then we don't realize that what we're experiencing, a lot of other people are experiencing too. No problem. Let's meet, let's work on that. We can just do a little bit of troubleshooting and help get things great and on track. If things are really completely like blotto, everything is terrible, if you're still curious, if you still love this person, if you still believe there's hope, reach out, because we can work on that too. That was one of my favorite couples. They contacted me. We did a discovery call. They said, okay, we're going to think about it. Well, the reason they were going to think about it was because they also had scheduled calls with divorce lawyers. They reached out 2 months later, and they said, well, we've talked about it. You're cheaper than a divorce lawyer. So we're going to give it one last shot. By the fourth session, they were renewing their vows.
That is an incredible testimonial. How do you... Okay, so first question. How much is the discovery call?
So the discovery calls are listed on my website for $50, but if you use the code FRIEND25, you'll get it for free.
So, people, you can have a free confidential call with GenaSis just to talk, like with no judgment. Just get feedback. Have somebody listen without judgment.
Yep.
Number one, and move from. You don't have to do even a second call if you don't want to. You don't have to do anything. You don't even have to tell your wife or husband, although you should, because hiding things is dumb. We're grown adults, people. But like, why wouldn't somebody technically do that? That's the ultimate question to me. You guys got to grow up, and you got to kind of just be willing to want to make your life better.
Yeah, just a little bit better.
How long is a call?
So the meet and greet call is 20 minutes, or we can do a full session, which would be 90 minutes.
So you could just be in your car driving to your next hair appointment and get some stuff off your chest. Yeah. You can tell me anything. Absolutely anything. So, okay, we've got women and men here, both
Absolutely.
target customers.
Absolutely.
Give me something for the men that need to call you. Well, what's going through their head right now, and why aren't they calling? What can we do to get them going?
Sure. So, men, you might be feeling like, I don't want to know what my wife actually thinks about how I am in bed, right? I think I'm doing a good job, and I don't want to hear otherwise. Well, what I can tell you is that when you are in really creating a very satisfying, fulfilling experience for her, she's going to want more of it. She's going to be well watered. She's going to be juicier in life, more enthusiastic, more appreciative, more kind. And so, even if things are going good, we can make them even better. And being able to have this open, honest dialogue will give you an opportunity to learn more about her, more ways to love her, as well as she'll learn more ways to love you. And, we can work at whatever level you feel comfortable with. I'm never, ever, ever going to tell you to do something that makes you feel uncomfortable or that makes you feel unsafe. But I am going to invite you into new possibilities, new things to consider, new things to explore that will be even better than what you can possibly imagine.
How far do you reach people? Like if somebody was listening to this in New Jersey, doesn't matter.
I had clients in Ecuador, so.
Perfect. I just want to make sure no one's trying to come up with some excuse like, oh, this is great, but I'm in Florida. It's like, no, bud.
No. I love to work with people in a combination of online and in person. So we can do it fully online using Zoom, no problem. If you are more local, then it's great to use Zoom for like the weekly sessions because it's more convenient. But I love to do like an in-person, afternoon or all day kind of an experience because you get a lot of really deep transformation in a really short amount of time.
Do you ever do like a after the kids go to bed time slot? Because I can imagine everybody's like, oh my God, I work a day job and then I got the kids busy putting people to bed till 9. It's like, can we talk at 10 p.m. or is that like off limits? Because that might be an excuse someone has.
I hear that excuse, and it is off limits because that's my relationship time.
Good.
Yep.
We need more boundaries like that. It's almost like a disqualifier. You're not serious enough if you can't find a way to make 30 minutes available once a month.
Yeah. I mean, whatever cadence makes sense. I find most people get real momentum when we're meeting every other week.
Okay.
That's a nice pace because then we're kind of keeping it up, but we're also, accounting for life, busyness, kids, that type of thing. Weekly, even faster results, right? More than once a week, no. There's no improved benefit there. Monthly, what I find monthly is, if you went to the gym once a month.
Yeah, what are you going to get?
Great. You went to gym once a month. Better than nothing and not really going to be seeing the results as quickly.
You're almost like a therapist at some level.
Well, therapists are a little different. So therapists really focus on like what happened to you and why you are the way you are. Coaches are more focused on where are you at now and where do you want to get to? What's the goal? What do you want this to look like? What does your dream sex life look like? What does your dream relationship look like? Let's get there. And of course, to get from where we are to where you want to be, there's going to be some blocks, right? There's a reason you're not there already. And when those come up, we're going to process them. They may relate to something that happened in your past. They may be a pattern or a belief or something that's, currently got you stuck. We're going to process that. We're going to work through that. And I have the tools to be able to do that. But we're not going to, spend forever talking about your mother.
Thank God.
Yeah.
Has anybody ever gotten this as a wedding present for people?
Yes, actually.
That would be a really good wedding present. Because everybody already, especially because people are getting married, I feel like older now too. So like they're more developed. They've been in this relationship for 10 or 15 years or whatever. And now they're getting married. And it's like, they already have everything. They already lived together for 5 years. They don't need plates.
You don't need a toaster.
Exactly. Give them this.
Yes. Yeah, this is a great wedding gift because it really is setting things off on the right foot.
Let's have like 3 meetings before you go on your honeymoon, and then we'll come back and we'll continue.
Okay, having been a recent bride, the right before the honeymoon thing sounds really overwhelming, but how about you go on your honeymoon and then you come back, and this is part of your, we're a new couple, and this is how we roll. This is what's important to us. We prioritize our pleasure, we prioritize our lovemaking, we prioritize learning about each other and deepening our connection.
I can get down with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you come back, you're like rested, rejuvenated. You've already got a lot of energy going into that
There's
because
so
you're
much.
so happy.
Yeah, absolutely. And you're so stressed, and you're so exhausted, and you're so all the things.
Yeah.
So
There's this little bit of me that's like, I always want to find things out before I get married. It's like, wait.
okay, that too. Okay, so there you go. Now it's an engagement present. All right.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So that's better timing, right? It's early on. You're definitely you're moving forward in this relationship. You're committed to one another. You're engaged. Things haven't started really rolling on the whole planning thing yet. Now's a great time.
You ever get like, how about two? I don't want to pigeonhole this into girlfriends. Maybe I'll do it with my buddy Wally. Wally, if you're listening to this, we're gonna do this together, bro. Two bros meeting. But what if you like came at this with friends? I guess there's a lot of like back channel talk, personal. Maybe it's not a thing to do with a friend. But like some people like camaraderie to like go take something on that they're like slightly uncomfortable with. Maybe you like get it and you both do it on your own. Like it, but you both do it. Mm-hmm. And then you see where it takes you.
I like that. It gives you a little bit of accountability. It gives you,
something to talk about when you get coffee with them.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think that could work out really well. But and even like a workshop, So like I've got a workshop coming up on February 10th. It is going to be on Zoom, but yeah, you and your buddy, and like it could be anybody. It could be just one member of the partner. It could be the couple together. Could come and learn about the erotic blueprints and how fun to be able to learn more about each other, because this does extend past the bedroom. Right?
Yeah.
You like when you know your erotic blueprint, you have a better sense of like how to express yourself in the world. And it was even funny. I have a friend who uses it in business. He very quickly sizes up what that person's blueprint is, and then he speaks to them differently for work-related things based on their blueprint.
Interesting.
It's kind of a personality type thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Where can people find you? Give us the shameless plugs, like websites, Instagram. What's your best sort of alternative handle for people reaching out to you?
Well, so 2025 is a refresh year for me. So my website is Coach, the number 4, GBS, the Grand Banquet of Sexuality.com. So coachforgbs.com. That's the best way to connect with me, to schedule one of these introductory calls, to sign up for the workshop on February 10th. I do have Coach GenaSis on Instagram. I'm still just using my personal page on Facebook. So, yeah, anyway, the best way to reach out to me is really just by scheduling a session.
Because there's a link on your website where you can just pick a date and time.
Pick the date and time, book it. Use the code FRIEND25 so you get the $50 off. So it'll either make the 20-minute call completely free or the 90-minute call $50 left. So that's the best way to go about it, because I really want to hear about your specific situation, what's going on with you, what you want help with, so I can tailor it. I have a massive toolbox. In fact, actually, it's more like one of those like Sears garages full of relationship tools. And I don't want to like dump them all in front of you. I want to be able to go, okay, here's the wrench and here's the hammer that you need for your project.
I love that. This has been great.
I have so much fun. I have the best job in the world.
You really do have the best job in the world. 'Cause I can imagine the successful outcomes. People are just like raving about you.
It's so much fun, and it lights me up. Like really, to see these couples. I've got this other couple. Like they've been married for nearly 30 years. And they honestly have been sexless for the last 10. And we just had our second session 2 nights ago. Like, so much shift in 2 sessions. And I'm so excited for them.
That's awesome. things get off the rails, guys. That's okay. Things get off the rails. You can be busy. You can have those things happen. But you can get them back on the rails.
Yeah.
That's okay. There's no age limit. Well, there's age limit restriction, but like there's no, like, you know what I mean, people. Like, you can be 21 or you can be 50 or anywhere in
Or
between.
75
Or-
or 92.
90.
Sex is for everybody.
Do you just,
Connection is for everybody. Love making is for everybody. Pleasure is for everybody. It doesn't matter your gender, your preferences, your body size, or your age. None of those things matter.
you know
You're
what?
human. You have pleasure as your birthright.
Happiness is for everybody.
Yes.
And maybe this doesn't make you happy, guys, and that's okay. Like, go on, do your thing, whatever. If it does, or if you're kind of curious about it, you know where to reach out to now.
Yes, you do.
I appreciate you coming on here and your time. Everybody, make sure you like, share, follow. These are local businesses here in Cape Ann. God, and they're good businesses, too. I love this.
Yeah, even find me locally. Let's go get a cup of coffee.
Let's go get a cup of coffee.
That'd be so much fun.
Thank you.
My pleasure.